Hi, it's me, Rasheed, coach, speaker and author of Soul Trader Putting the Heart Back into Your Business. And welcome to the April issue of Catch the Coach, your newsletter for success and fulfillment. Success, as we know, is dependent on so many factors. You, your talent, your ability, the economy, society, your application of your skills and your talents, your resources, your resourcefulness. And fulfillment is just dependent upon your relationship to life. And it's often that fulfillment bit that we often overlook or take for granted, often the pursuit of success. So fulfillment for me is the baseline, the starting point for meaningful success. But today's issue is all about simplicity. And in the same way that fulfillment and embracing yourself and your talents and your gifts and who it is that you are can be the birthplace of real, true success and appreciation and gratitude, likewise, simplicity can be the real strong baseline for a really rich and easy and lighter, more peaceful life. And that's what we're going to be looking at in this short Catch the Coach. Just a couple of pieces of news. I just want to thank everybody who's been involved in my various coaching programs that I deliver for a number of different organisations. Really a pleasure to meet those people who I meet week in, week out, year in and year out. So I just want to thank everybody who's involved in any of the coaching programs that I run in London and in fact across the UK. I just want to say my gratitude, and it's wonderful to see you going on your own journeys. So congratulations to everybody. That's the people, also the people who are going through the British Library programs that I'm involved in, or people come along to my workshops there and so on. I just want to say very, very, very many thanks from me. Now, on to our key theme, which is simplicity. And we live in a world, as we know, where things can often get incredibly complicated. We have busy lives, we have busy minds, and we live in this kind of 24-hour world where we're often on our gadgets, on our phone, on our devices, so easily distracted by so many different things. Our emails, the workloads that we might have in our business and our careers. So it's really important sometimes for us to be able to take a step back and ask ourselves what's really, really important in life. So I want to just share with you just 3 simple tips for simplicity in your life. And I'll be recording a more detailed webinar on these particular things later on my Soul Trader site. But the 3 things I want to share with you is space, structure, and serendipity. First of all, space. I really recommend, first of all, having regular clear outs in your home space, in your working space, from your computers and your files and your documents through to your living space and so on. Because when you have that space, it really helps you in terms of your mindset and your clarity of thought, as well as that feel-good factor of just having that living room. Simply be it that we're talking about a clear desk or a tidy home, it really does help that clarity of thought. There's far less room for distractions. But also I really highly recommend that you get out into space, that you go out into nature, and that can re-energize you. Very often we get caught up in the small confines of where it is that we live or the project that we're working on, and so we become like this, we become overly focused, and often what we need is that space so we have more perspective. So it's just by going into more space, we suddenly have more perspective. But if we're too close up to everything, we're zooming in on this issue, that issue, we're often out of touch with ourselves and we feel overwhelmed. We're not seeing things in perspective, we lose our sense of perspective. And so we get caught up in that argument. We feel as though that particular piece of work is the most important thing in the planet. Or we just are just overwhelmed, or we don't even know where to turn, we don't know where to start, we can just waste so much time. So the first thing is space, having that space. But also the third type of space I want to talk about is head space. Starting off the day and perhaps ending the day in silence and in gratitude. So tip number 1, space. Tip number 2, structure. What's the structure that you need personally, in your life, in your work, in your business, that actually is most conducive to you and what it is that you're trying to achieve? So there might be certain things that you need to timetable, plan in, from your breaks to your holidays, to your lunch, to your key pieces of work that you need to do. It might also be that you need systems. So what we're talking about is, what is it that you need systems for? Your system for how you're going to deal with this request, that kind of email request that might come in. Also, you might, in the same way you might have systems for how you have your clothes and so on, there might be systems that you might need to put in place for all sorts of things. So what things is it that you would do regularly that you would benefit from having a system? And again, likewise, what are the things that you aren't really organised about in your life? Oh, you know, your diet comes as a second thought, or your sleep. Maybe those things you need to schedule in. What are the times that are best for you to rest? What are the times that's best for you and your body, for you to eat, and so on? I'm not a fan, and it's becoming overly prescriptive, but the idea of when you put certain structures in place is to save you time and to help you manage your space and to help you manage your activities and all of those things that you need to do. So systems. So that might be systems for your files, for your emails, for certain kind of requests, certain things to do with business and so on. You know, be it that you've got your box files, your online files, your paper diary, your online diary, there are all sorts of different ways to do it, but it's really important to think about what is it that would really work for you, and everyone's different. So we've talked about space, inner space, our living space and our working space, and nature's space. We've talked about systematising things and being organised in our life, in our well-being, all the things that you need to pay attention to systemise. And then finally, serendipity. Serendipity is really, really important. Serendipity is those happy accidents. And how is it that you're able to invite in serendipity? Well, my take on this is that more that you embrace life, the more it is that you are grateful for life, the more it is that you realise that life has its ups and downs, and the more it is that you listen to your body instead of everybody, the more it is that you're going to be able to open the doors and the windows to serendipity. I have a saying that, you know, every now and then the window to serendipity will be open, and it's important to spot it and to go with it. But I think that the more on a day-to-day level that you become attuned to yourself and you become attuned to your environment around you, the more it is that you will spot those opportunities that people might label as serendipitous. Have you ever had that experience whereby you're running late, far later than you had planned, you timed it, but then for whatever reason you're running late, and you leave home late and you get to the train, the tube, metro, whatever it is, the subway, wherever it is you're going to, and suddenly you bump into somebody on the street, the subway station, tube station, train station, wherever it might well be. That's often serendipity, where life's kind of shaking you up out of your normal routine. Happened to me earlier on today, in a completely different way. A friend dropped me a line. I actually had a fairly clear day, but I had a couple of things that I had in mind to do. And I suddenly recognised that this actually was an opportunity for me to just appreciate A, being able to be available to help somebody, and B, for me to get in another impromptu bit of exercise, because it required me taking a couple of different trips to go and help this friend. And during one of them there was just the most beautiful sky. So it ended up being kind of serendipitous for me. And it gave me an opportunity to, during one of those visits, call another friend who has a lot of things going on, so that we could have a bit of a short bit of quality time. That's not going to happen if I'm just stuck in my structure. That's why all three of these things are really important. Space, structure, serendipity. The result of these things is far more simplicity. If you're interested in some of these things, you might find my space, stillness, silence talk on my available on my website rosaru.com. Very useful. Those of you who got the print issue of this, you will see the link to that. But equally, you can just go onto my website, rasaru.com, rasaru.com, and you will find details of that. Events, my monthly Networking for Success event, you'll see all the dates and the links for that under the link which I'll put underneath there. It takes place at and in proud partnership with the British Library's Business and IP Centre. We run it every single month apart from August. And speaking of August, whilst I'm not running Networking for Success or my Soul Trader quarterly event at the British Library, I'm running a very, very special retreat that you may have heard of. And it's really apt for this topic that we're talking about today, which is about space. So my Soul Trader, Soul Leader event is effectively 3 retreats in one. It's for you if you are a professional, if you are a leader, if you are an entrepreneur. I think it's particularly apt for teachers, leaders, high achievers, entrepreneurs, creatives, people who are generally passionate about doing their life's work. And it's going to give you an opportunity to have that space, that stillness, to relax. It's also going to give you a crucially important opportunity to work on your well-being. There'll be beautiful, nutritious vegetarian food. There's a yoga, meditation and mindfulness program. And then there's my career, leadership and business development program. So you've kind of got 3 retreats rolled into one for your mind, for your body and for your spirit, all set in a beautiful villa, private villa, with a pool by the edge of the forest, not far from the ocean in Portugal. And that's taking place between the 25th of August and the 31st of August. And if you're keen, you'll find there's a very special discount code here. If you quote this discount code, you can claim £1,000 off. How about that? But you'll also find those discounts, and if you go follow me on Twitter, you'll see that I posted one of those flyers at the top of my Twitter feed. And if you go onto my Rasheed Ogunlaru Coach Speaker Author Facebook page or the Soul Trader Facebook page, you'll also see these, so that you can get £1,000 off. Hurry, there's only 8 spaces, so this retreat will be really tailored around you. And the flow of the events is very much that the mornings, day by day, we cover the 7 Soul Trader steps set out in the book, the Soul Trader 7+1 steps. And what happens is that the morning starts off with yoga, which is optional if you want to. Everything's in fact optional. Then there's breakfast, and then there is the masterclass sessions, which typically take place between 9:30 and 1 o'clock. Then you have the afternoons for you. A couple of days we've got some excursions lined up, and then there's that break until dinner in the evening. So you've got time for you to enjoy the space and so on, or to work on your career or your business, or just to rest and relax. So if that appeals to you, check out soultraderretreats.com, and it's run in proud partnership with Red Lotus Retreats. So when you click on that, it will take you through to Red Lotus, where you can book in. Anyway, I'm going to leave you to it so you can enjoy more space, more simplicity. And remember that tip for the month: space, structure, and serendipity. Take good care. Wishing you all the best. Bye-bye.